Hey, I'm gonna show you a tweet, but fair warning, it's gonna make you mad. Like, it's gonna make you want to throw hands immediately. You ready? You set? Okay, here we go.
She knows exactly what she wants, and she knows exactly what she deserves, and it makes them boys nervous.
Hey you guys, it's Akira, part of Truth and Love United. What's going on? Yo, it's been a hard week to be a black girl. Between Toyin, I don't want to mispronounce her name. I'll try to find a sound clip with her name in because there is a video that I have where someone else is pronouncing it.
If you, like myself, are an American and uncultured and wanted to say her name to give her honor correctly but was unsure how to, here's her name.
Her name is Oluwatoyin.
Oluwatoyin Salau. That's her name, so we gonna say it correct to honor.
Between her and then we see the video this week that came out where the woman was thrown into the garbage can by a group of black men, and then we saw the video of the man who slapped the out of this girl with a skateboard. It's been hard to be a black woman this week, especially in the climate where black women a lot of times are the people who are on the front lines when it comes to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter started because of black women. Why do women have to have precursors in order to be protected? When we talk about Black Lives Matter is an umbrella. There are several things under that umbrella. Black women should be under that umbrella, period. So it's very annoying, very angering, very disheartening to see the men who are supposed to be protecting us and who we're supposed to look to for, you know, like solidarity. Those are the men that are harming us. And mind you, that's not taken away from anything else, because we still got police brutality going on. We still got, you know, the fact that we're women, so sexism going on. We still have all these other things going on. But on top of that, now I gotta look at someone who I should be able to find commonality with and wonder if you're gonna hurt me too. That's crazy. The massage noir jumped out of a lot of y'all this week, and I feel like it needs to be addressed. Now, I'm going to give you the official definition for massage noir. Massage noir is taking two different words, misogyny, obviously, and noir, which is French for black. They put them together. The definition of massage noir is the specific hatred, distrust, dislike, and prejudice directed specifically towards black women. We all know what Malcolm X said when it comes to black women: we're the most disrespected, we're the most dishonored, we're the most unprotected. So today we're going to talk 5 ways that you can help protect black women, because clearly some people need some help. 1, empower our girls. Georgetown did a research study and they found that black girls are seen as sexually promiscuous as young as age 5. When that type of weight is put on young black girls, other people's perception of them forces them to navigate the way they go through the world. They don't get to be little girls because they're over sexualized as children, which as she gets older, she starts to internalize those things, and then that creates a snowball effect of other issues. So one way you can protect young black girls: don't sexualize them. One thing that we hear a lot about in our household is you need to put on clothes because such and such is coming over, or you need to make sure you're doing this, instead of it being, hey, this person is seen as a predator, so let's not have that person around our children, or have that person around my daughter. A lot of times the responsibility is put on women to be demure or to act a certain way in order to not be attacked. What is a 5-year-old doing to sexually turn you on? The only person who has an issue in that scenario is the predator. Put the responsibility on the predator, not on the child. Number 2, if you are a man, understand your position in the situation. And this is what I mean by that. As women, especially as black women, we are taught to be strong. We are taught to be independent. We are taught to, no one's gonna have our backs the way we have our backs, which is very damaging and harmful to our community, because what happens is some of us get into this thing where we don't need a man and this and this and that. And because of that, there are certain groups of men who are threatened by that. And instead of having understanding of why there are women, because there are historical reasons why certain groups of women move that way, and instead of having understanding, they take it as a attack on their manhood. They take it as an attack on their masculinity. You need to be understanding of the fact, 1, you don't know that woman's history. You don't know what has happened in her life to make her feel that her only option is to move that way. So how about, instead of wanting to humble her and wanting to put her in her place, How about you gain some understanding with her? How about you take a moment? Maybe she popping off, maybe she doing all of this. Understand your position in that moment though. You have the ability to be a man in her life or be a man that she interacts with that don't treat her like everybody else. How about you humble yourself in that moment? You know, men want to be the leaders, that men want to be great till it's time to be great. You want to be great in this moment? Humble yourself. Instead of when I shut you down or I'll be like, nah, I'm cool, I don't want to talk. Instead of your first instinct to call me out my name and talk about me and all that stuff, how about you be like, well, I'm sorry that, you know, I've interrupted, but you have a good day. Because that's going to make me stop and think like, okay, well, wow, like that was nice. Think about your position in that situation and use that position to further your sex, because it's not you dogging me and disrespecting me makes me be like, yeah, this is why I treat men the way that I do. Because they aren't the same. Number 3, if you are a man and you are in a situation, you have a male friend who is physically assaulting a woman, if you don't say anything to him, you're just as bad and you're a coward. In every video I saw this week, in the instance where the man hit the woman with the skateboard, and in the instance where the men threw that young lady in the garbage can, there were additional men around who were laughing. That I can't even fathom, because I'm grateful and I'm blessed to where I don't associate with those types of men. If I knew a man who operated that way, we wouldn't know each other anymore. I would immediately cut him off. Let's just take women out of it, because we know, let's just keep it a buck. We know that in our culture, disrespect of women is deeply ingrained. We already know that, right? So let's just take the woman out of it. Why would you want your dude to potentially mess his life up in that particular way? Because guess what? If she presses charges, then he catching a case, then he going to jail. Why would you want your man to go through that? It is your responsibility, sir. It is your responsibility to call him out. I actually saw a really good example of this last night. Matter of fact, a part of the lake that a lot of people in my city go to is called Edgewater. And me and my best friend went to Edgewater last night. And it was these two groups of people that were together, but like I guess it was a couple that were arguing, and they were going back and forth. Now the dude to me was doing the most. Like, he was antagonizing the woman. Like, she was going off and people are holding her back because she wants to assault this dude, and he's antagonizing her, messing with her, this and that. Finally, this other dude steps to him and is like, stop antagonizing her, bro. Like, you know she mad, just go that way. Like, stop antagonizing her. And I think it was one of his friends, and I'm like, see, that is what you're supposed to do in those types of moments. You're supposed to try to de-escalate the situation. Now, once he's done whatever, it is your responsibility to call him out on his foolishness. That's wrong and that's crazy. Number 4, the whole reason I even got the idea for this video is the video I play at the very beginning of this, and that's one of my TikToks. I find it interesting that men feel like we have to act a certain way, like women have to submit ourselves to men, when the Bible, because that comes from the Bible. So I guess number 4 is, know what you're talking about before you try to implement it, because this really made me mad. The Bible does talk about, as women, submit ourselves to our husbands. But you know what's before that? Our husbands are supposed to submit themselves to God first. So why would I submit to somebody who hasn't submitted themselves to someone else? Because I don't know where you're leading me. I'm very picky about the men that I have in my life, because I do want to have a husband. I do want to have children. And personally, I do believe in a man being the leader of the household. But he has to be submitted to God first, because if he's submitted to God, that means that he knows how to treat me, and he'll know how to treat our children. If you don't have a leader, then where are you leading me? As far as I know, you might be leading me off a cliff, and no, boo-boo, not today. So, as a man, if you want respect, if you want black women to respect you, give us something worth respecting. What are your goals? What are your ambitions? What are your dreams? What motivates you? Who do you look to for help? What's your foundation? There are so many men who want all these things because they have a penis, but they don't do anything. You haven't done anything besides grow a penis to show that you deserve that. Where they do that at? So I guess, like I said, number 4 is, make sure you know what you're talking about. Force your madness on the people, or you allow your mans to do that. Make sure you know his foundation is solid, because let's keep it a buck. Your friends say a lot about you. Who you around, who you allow to influence you, says a lot about you. If you have someone in your friend group who will operate this way, I gotta look at you sideways too, sir. You cool with that? That's interesting. Number 5, be mindful of the things that you are allowing to influence you. Now, You guys know I am a huge hip-hop fan. I love hip-hop. I grew up on hip-hop. Obviously other genres of music as well, but I'm a huge hip-hop fan. The baby is my baby, like the girl voice say. Partisan Fontaine is bae. Like, I love hip-hop. But when you take a step back and you really listen to what they're saying, why are we okay with that? And now I understand, you know, music is creative expression, and you know, a lot of these rappers are rapping about their experiences and things like that, and that's cool, that's fine, do what you gotta do. But as a woman, why would I consistently indoctrinate myself into a culture that makes me seem like I'm less than? I'm everything but a child of God. Like, and it's crazy because one of my favorite, like I said, one of my favorite rappers is Partisan Fontaine, and this is not a knock to him because I still listen to the Underrated album. I love that album, but he has a song, I think it's Shea Butter, and he says, every time I look at you, I think baby shower. And I was rapping it, but then I thought one day, like, so this man is just saying, and I had to, because again, the Jesus side kicked in because my conviction started, like, because me and God has really been dealing with me about my music choices. So my conviction kicked in. And it's like, okay, like I said earlier, I'm a woman who wants a family one day. I want to have a husband. I want to build a life. I want to build a legacy. I want to build I want to build generational wealth for my children that are coming. Like, that's what I'm on. That's the type of time I also want my future husband to be on. You know what I'm saying? But you're listening to music where he doesn't say he wants to build a family with this woman. He doesn't say he loves this woman. Because later in the song, he talks about you might be in love with somebody else, but he can't sexually please you the way that I can. So clearly he has no interest in actually being with this woman. He just wants to get his rocks off. He don't even mind getting her pregnant because she's cute. But he doesn't want to build a family with her. He doesn't want to build a legacy with her. Why are you listening to this? And this completely goes against what you're about and what you want to be about. And you got to think a lot of times, and I'm an overthinker, or not an overthinker, but I like to dissect what I listen to. So that's how I came to some of these conclusions, and that's why, you know, my music taste is slowly changing. But as men, all they hear is women of this, is women of that, and women of this, is women of that. So eventually they take that on and they really think that way about us. So I feel like men, you have to take responsibility and be more intentional about the messages that you allow to influence you. Don't get me wrong, there are women who move certain types of ways, and guess what? I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves respect. I don't care if she clapping them cheeks on Saturday night or she is somebody's church service on Saturday night. Every woman deserves respect. Period. It doesn't matter. I don't believe in the whole, well, she got to carry herself with respect. Guess what? She's a human. She's breathing. She's living. She deserves respect. Period. And who are you to try to tell her that she doesn't deserve respect or she's less than because she's in a place of her life where she feels like she wants to do A, B, and C? That's trash, and that's crazy, and that's disrespectful. And another thing that drives me crazy is this idea of, oh, when you see, and this happens a lot with celebrities and celebrities in general, you see this thing where they'll be like, oh, I didn't realize until I got a daughter and how much just in love I am, and I just didn't realize how bad it was till I had a daughter. You got a whole mama, you got sisters, you got cousins, you got aunties, you got classmates. Why does it have to be a possessive position for you to understand the plight that women go through? It almost sounds like how white people don't understand racism until they have like a mixed grandchild.
I just didn't understand how bad it was until my grandbaby got here.
How? Because it's literally been going on for hundreds of years. It's because you chose not to see. As black men, you have to be intentional about seeing the disparities between us as black men and black women. You have to be intentional about wanting to lessen those disparities. You have to be intentional about checking your boys when they out of line. You got to be intentional about checking yourself when you out of line. You got to be intentional about uplifting and empowering the black women that are in your circle. And guess what? When I say black women, I'm not just talking about cisgender heterosexual ones either, but that's another video for another day. I'm talking about black women in general, but that's another video for another day. I'm just saying, because I know for some of y'all that's like going too far. So let's just get the general idea of what a black woman is. Let's just start there. Black women deserve respect. Black women deserve protection. Black women deserve all the love and the joy and the peace that we inject to everyone else's lives every day. And I refuse to continuously be someone who is constantly giving out when I feel like I won't receive it back from people who look like me. That's crazy. Now that don't mean I'm gonna stop doing the work. That just means I'm gonna be more vocal about holding you accountable while I'm doing my work. I know this video is all over the place. I'm just in my feelings. I don't like it. It's disrespectful, and I'm just big on respect in general. Don't be disrespectful, especially when we are the people. We're supposed to be in this together. I'm open to all, you know, I'm slowly starting to become one of those people that's open to all types of men, but I genuinely want to be married to a black man. I genuinely want to have a whole bunch of a black man's babies and build a black, like that's what I want. I genuinely desire that. It's extremely hard when you don't know what bag that whatever black man is gonna come out of. He might not even like black women. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. All I'm saying is, with everything going on right now, I've seen videos or I've seen tweets where men are like, we ain't got time to be talking about this right now. We shouldn't be talking about this. We supposed to be in this together. Exactly. So if we're supposed to be in this together, tell your homeboy to stop killing us. Tell your homeboy to stop being verbally abusive. Tell your homeboy to stop being financially abusive. Tell your homeboy to stop being emotionally abusive. How about you stand up and say something? Because if less of that is going on, we can focus on the main goal, which is getting equality with everybody else that's here on the planet. So I'm trying to make this as short as possible. I'm gonna get out your hair. Please make sure you are following me on all my social medias. I'm very, very excited because I got some stuff coming. I'm very excited for y'all to see it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, all the stuff that y'all share with me and y'all tell me, and y'all prayers. Like, I appreciate all those things. I'm trying to think. I don't have anything really going on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are a TikTok fam, let me know in the comments. If you're an Instagram fam, let me know down in the comments. If you are either one of these but you're not YouTube fam, get your like. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you should share, like, comment, all that good stuff. Also hit the notification bell so you'll know every time the kid posts something new. And like I always say, as long as you're running your race at God's pace, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And despite what y'all might think about this, I love black men. I just want them to do better. So, see y'all later.
Know that girl can make everything you got a little better. She can change your world for the better.